Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome, theme park enthusiasts. All right, it is already old news by now, I know, but Six Flags and Cedar Fair have gotten together finally. Yes, everyone was expecting this and they finally did it. And a lot of people have been talking about, what's going to happen, between the parks, what's going to go on with like the rides and the operations and, a fast pass system and everything. So I'm not going to talk about that. I just want to talk a little bit about the market for theme parks here in North America and how I think Six Flags, or the new Six Flags, is going to approach this. Maybe a little bit different than I think a lot of people are thinking, but at least to me it makes sense, and this is what I would be advocating for if I were in either company. So just as a quick primer, my view of the North American theme park industry, there's like basically 5 categories. At the top you have the luxury brands, which would be Universal, Herschend, and Disney, the ones that provide the amazingly immersive experiences along with great operations, great food, hotels, merchandise, the complete package. Not cheap, but you, in most cases, get what you're paying for. Then there's the premium tier, which right now is dominated by SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment. Hershey Park, yeah, little Hershey Park up there. And I'm gonna put Merlin in this category right now for the Legoland parks, because for kiddie parks, they're really nice. Merlin so far has done a pretty good job with them, and they do keep expanding. Anyway, then at the other end of the market, I don't want to say lower end because that sounds bad, and they're not. You have the family entertainment centers and smaller, like localized parks, and these would be the premier parks, Fun Spot, as well as a bunch of independent operators. Now, that leaves the 2 largest segments, the themed park, not theme park, the themed park and amusement park sector, which has for the last 20 years been dominated by Six Flags and Cedar Fair. The thing is, I think for a long time, neither of these companies has been able to reconcile the fact that they have parks in both categories in their company. And they've never been able to figure out an investment model that works across both, that doesn't leave some people feeling left out and over investing here. And it's just been kind of it's been difficult for them to try and straddle the market with like one brand, one set of operations. Combining with Six Flags now, what I think they're going to do is they're actually going to separate everything. They're going to take all the parks they have, all like 20 or almost 30, and they're going to split them up into 2 separate categories. One for themed parks and one for amusement parks. And they're going to operate each almost as separate businesses, that just have maybe a common corporate back end, kind of like Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises. 2 completely different experiences, very different markets, but they do share, a lot of stuff behind the scenes for efficiency and everything like that. But it allows them to approach the 2 different markets very, very differently, and apparently very successfully. So yeah, I think Six Flags, the new Six Flags, is going to have 2 separate divisions for these parks. All right, let's get into it. The fun part. What parks are going to be in each of these divisions, right? When I say a themed park, right, I'm not saying a theme park like, Islands of Adventure or Magic Kingdom, but a park with some themed areas, some very well-themed rides, maybe a great dark ride, but not a overall cohesive theme for the whole park, like Busch Gardens or SeaWorld, right? All right, so what are going to be the premier within Six Flags themed parks going forward? All right, drum roll, please. There's no drums. I say Canada's Wonderland, Cedar Point, Kings Island, Knott's Berry Farm, and Kings Dominion from Cedar Fair. And then from Six Flags, Fiesta Texas, over Georgia, yes, Great Adventure, Magic Mountain, because it's Magic Mountain, and because I've heard really good things about it, Six Flags Mexico, right? That could change. Provisional. I've never been there. I haven't been to a lot of these, but I have watched plenty of videos and I've been to theme parks like all around the world. So I hope I have a good grasp, which means then there's going to be some parks which are going to be in the amusement division. Michigan's Adventure, Valley Fair, Worlds of Fun, and Carowinds. Yes, I know that might shock some people, but this summer I was at both Over Georgia and Carowinds. And yeah, if I had to pick the themed park versus the amusement park, that's what I would do. Anyway, and then the rest of the Six Flags parks, which would be Great Escape, St. Louis, Darien Lake, Great America, over Texas, as well as Dorney, then Six Flags America, Discovery Kingdom, and Frontier City, if they keep it. So yeah, that's how I would split up the new Six Flags into 2 separate divisions and operate them separately. you know, or not totally separately, but, you know, each of these divisions and the different types of parks in different markets, they have so many different requirements, you know, different capital requirements, different management requirements, different operational requirements. I think they're going to need to separate, you know, the two in the corporation to really do this well. And let the people that run theme parks do their job, and the people that run amusement parks do their jobs. So how is this going to affect the industry as a whole? Well, okay, some obvious, some maybe not so obvious, some things I would like to see happen. Maybe some people will be inspired. So first of all, well, Florida is sitting this out. We really have no horse in this race. There's no Cedar Fair or Six Flags Park anywhere near us. So whatever happens, we'll be fine. We have luxury and premium, you know, up the wazoo. So yeah, we're good. Hey, we also got some great FECs, by the way. We got 2 fun spots, and I think they're going to do some great things. So yeah, we are good. But let's be realistic. The luxury brands, they're not going to care if they even know. I mean, I'm sure they know, but it's something that they're not going to have to concern themselves with. They drive their own market. They make their own world, and yeah, they're totally fine. Hershey probably won't care, right? They might keep an eye on Great Adventure, but realistically, their patron has very deep pockets, and Hershey is Hershey. So yeah, they're just gonna kind of watch what goes on and focus on themselves, and they've done a very good job of doing that. So yeah, that's all they need to do. The SeaWorld and Busch Gardens Park here in Florida, they're not affected, and SeaWorld San Diego, they're probably totally cool, as is like Sesame Place. But there are a couple places where SeaWorld's going to have to, maybe put some focus. Williamsburg, eventually. Although I do think that they're going to sit and watch the drama play out between America and Dominion. Because, yeah, Six Flags, they're going to have some decisions to make there, and I don't think Busch Gardens Williamsburg is going to make any moves until they kind of figure out what is going to happen there. However, the real winner in all of this, I think, is San Antonio. Because now you have, you know, SeaWorld and Entertainment and, you know, the new Six Flags, even more head-to-head to almost all year parks. At least they could be most year parks. We might see some big investments, kind of a mini, maybe a mini coaster war, or like a mini Universal versus Disney battle in San Antonio. So, you know, hey, good on you, San Antonio. Great city, by the way. I've always enjoyed going there. So what is their overall plan? Well, it's to solidify the middle of the market, the middle and lower middle of the market, with the themed parks and the amusement parks. And hopefully, at least they're going to try, put up some barriers to entry from both ends, right? Now, from the top, probably not so much to worry about. And on the lower end, I think they're just trying to have such a broad coverage that places like Fun Spot have, you know, trouble expanding geographically. But I think there is one thing that they're worried about. There is one operator out there that actually would pose a threat to this market that they've had here domestically for a very long time, and that is the aforementioned Merlin. Yes, Merlin is a pretty successful company. They're pretty profitable, and, you know, hopefully, well, for us as theme park enthusiasts, you know, they're willing to spend some of that money here. If anybody didn't know, they, in addition to Legoland, they have a lot of their, I think they call them boardwalk experiences. That's the Madame Tussauds and the Sea Life. But they also operate a number of theme parks, a number of themed parks over in Europe, including Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Garada Land. So yeah, if they decided to bring some of that over here, that could pose a threat. That would pose a threat to both Cedar Fair and Six Flags. And together, they're in a much better position to fend off that competitive threat, right? So I don't think they're necessarily worried about, you know, SeaWorld or Universal going down market. They're worried about Merlin coming in and being a disruptive entity in their existing market. So combined, yeah, they have a better shot of doing that. Now, as for all the annual passes and all this kind of stuff, I still have my Six Flags pass from eons ago. I have my Cedar Fair pass that I got this year. I only used a couple times, but that's totally fine. I will get whatever new pass they come up with, because I do like visiting the parks. That's how I see the new Six Flags approaching all of this. I wish them the best of luck. I look forward to visiting, well, as many parks as I can in the future, which means I'll see you in the queue.